We begin this episode by acknowledging the Wurundjeri and Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which we record and share these stories. We pay our deepest respects to their elders, past and present, and recognise the wisdom, connection, and culture that have shaped these lands for thousands of years. As we journey beyond the veil, we do so with gratitude, respect, and an awareness of those who walked before us, honouring their wisdom, their connection to the land, and their stories woven into the fabric of time. May we listen, learn, and tread lightly, carrying forward their legacy with integrity and heart. Welcome to Beyond the Veil Australia, where history, mystery, and the unexplained collide. From eerie encounters to cryptid lore, from channeled messages to scientific investigations, we're lifting the veil and stepping into the unknown. I'm Heather, your guide through the shadows, and together we'll unravel paranormal phenomena, strange synchronicities, and the mysteries that refuse to be ignored. Whether you're a skeptic, a seeker, or somewhere in between, this space is for you. Fasten your seatbelt, expand your thinking, and get ready to cross the threshold with Beyond the Veil Australia podcast.
Some explorers chase landscapes, others chase stories. Marcus, the creator behind OzCamper, does both. With a camera in hand and curiosity in his bones, he travels Australia's forgotten corners, listening for the places that speak in silence. His recent journey into Walhalla, a gold rush town turned ghost town, wasn't just a road trip. It was a reckoning. What began as a quiet investigation quickly turned strange. The air shifted, the shadows deepened, and something unseen made itself known. In this episode, Marcus joins me to share what he saw, what he felt, and what still lingers. He's also joining me to discuss more about his channel and the type of content and creepy stories that he shares. This isn't just a story about a haunted town. It's about thin places where history and mystery touch. So settle in, dim the lights, and follow us both into the valley where echoes never fade. Marcus, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I'm really pumped to be able to connect with you and have a chat because I know that there's been some of your content that I've really enjoyed engaging with. And I definitely have to say the Walhalla trip was one of my personal favourites. I really liked everything that was shown in that. I liked that you showed that there was a lot of non-activity, and then when there was activity, it was red hot. So yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. I'm really glad that you liked the Walhalla episode. It was sort of a proof of concept, if you will. For the last 2 years, I've been on TikTok and Instagram doing a lot of short form content. So I probably put the Walhalla trip off longer than I wanted to be honest. I was really hesitant to jump into this trip and tackle it. And in the past, I tackled the story. So for people that haven't seen my content before, I cover a lot of true crime stories. I cover a lot of Australian folklore, a lot of campfire stories that users send in. And when I caught wind of the town of Walhalla and the story of James Mitchell's grave, this cursed grave that when explorers and adventurers touch it, you know, the grave itself has the words on it that you may fall. Like, this grave is warning people, do not touch me. And people have fallen after touching it. I had to sink my teeth into it. And it was just one of those projects that, like, jumping into it, I had to do it right. I had to do it right, Heather. And going from short form into this journey, this full-length video on YouTube, it was awesome. It was such a good experience. And, you know, going from filming a short TikTok in my studio to being on site for the first time with a full camera crew, it was crazy. And it's so awesome that you enjoyed it. Like, it was, a lot more of that to come.
Yeah, awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the content as it comes out because I know I really enjoyed it. And part of me being a little bit of one of those people where I'm just like, I just need content to go forever. I was kind of like, wow, like that was like a good sort of 20 5 minutes ish, roughly, wasn't it? And it was just like, oh my God, can we do that again? Like it was just awesome. So yeah, I can't wait for more to come out. So
No, thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank you. I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it. It was incredible how it came about because the TikTok went very viral. That video really blew up. And at the end of the video, I said, I'm planning to go out to this location. And I reached out to some of the locals that had seen my content before, so they were happy to have me. But at the end of the video, I said, I need a camera crew. Does anyone want to come out to this location with me? I'm not bad at filming, but I wanted something a bit higher up, a bit more production quality. And then the next day I woke up to about 150 DMs from all different people saying, yep, like, please let us in, please let us come with you. And it ranged from people that were just like, mate, I can film on my phone like a weapon. I'm probably shit, but just let me come with you, to full, film studios that were going, hey, let us come out with you. And it's crazy because then I had this message come through from someone named Lily, who is now Lily is now going to be one of my full-time videographers and filmmakers. These are two young girls that have finished their uni and they're hungry filmmakers. And it was just something about that message that stood out. But she listed like all the projects she's working on and sent me through a trailer for a short film that they're making. So I looked at it and I went, holy shit, like this is a lot higher quality than I expected. Like, wow, these girls are talented. And then I spoke with Lily and I sort of let her know of the concept of what I want to do and this new series that I want to embark on. And she said, well, me and my friend Coco, like, we love all things scary, horror, paranormal. We think we can make something here. So
That's awesome.
sure enough, I teed up with them. And I'm like, as soon as I saw the trailer for their short film they're making out in the Vic High Country, I was like, this is it. These are the girls. These are the two people that have to come on this journey with me. So now we've got a lot more content in the pipeline. We've got a lot more investigations planned, and I'm securing a lot more locations now to get into. So I'm super stoked. So much anticipation for the next 6 months to come for what this channel is going to go to. And I really just want to break into strong Aussie paranormal investigating with some grassroots of, Aussie outback style, campfire style, where it's not it's not like the old shows you used to see. I want it to be raw. I want to show people that we're not here to cook shit, I suppose.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's why I do show that we're not, like, when you're not getting activity, I'm happy to show that, and I'm happy to teach people how the equipment works, because it's so easy to fake this stuff. And I'm like, nah, if we find something real, I want to find it.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely agree. And it is one of those things that's myself too, as I find, back in the day when there really wasn't much choice about what kind of paranormal show you watched, it was very produced. So it's sort of really nice to be able to see there's more people such as yourself that are genuinely interested and curious about the paranormal and want to document all parts of it, not just the fun bits, so to speak. You want to show the whole journey. And I think that's really important, because you do get a lot of people that see the yahoos, if you want to call them that, go out and just kind of go bang, 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 bang. And they go out there, they've got no understanding about how the spirit world works. They've got no respect for the place and any energies that are there. And you just see bad shit happen. And it probably ties back to, I suppose, like that gravestone in Walhalla, is that it has a warning, like, don't be disrespectful, don't touch this, da 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 da. And if you do, here's the consequences, which is interesting when you're sort of saying like how people have fallen. Do you know any of the stories specifically that stand out that kind of make you go, ooh, fuck, I'm not touching that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can't recall the name of the person, but they made their way out to Walhalla, and the historian of the town, Sally, she does the ghost tours out in Walhalla, and she's the historian of the town. She runs the museum out there, does the ghost tours and everything. This woman, she's incredible. She lives and breathes Walhalla. And there's not a thing about that town she doesn't know. So when we were out there before we started the investigation, she was telling us this story, I suppose one of the first stories of where it all started, where this family was out there, and they made their way to the cemetery because it's a beautiful location. It's up on the mountainside of Walhalla, just on the outskirts of the Vic High Country. Incredible place. And a family, they took a photo by James Mitchell's grave, and in the photo, once it was developed, you could see that the husband, the father in the photo, they almost looked translucent, it's like they were see-through, or the camera, the photo didn't develop correct for him.
Wow.
Yeah, so already it's a bit of like I suppose a red flag, and you're looking and you go, okay, what's going on here? And then the family, they finished their trip, and the second he walked through the front door back to his house, he had a heart attack. He went into cardiac arrest and died.
Shit.
Yeah. And that was the last photo that was ever taken of him by James's grave. And in the photo, you can see that the camera, it hasn't developed correct, or that photo, there was just something off about it. And they've got that at Walhalla. You can see that if you do go out to the ghost tours out there, they'll show you the actual photo that was taken. And there's been other instances of people that have taken photos by James's gravestone, or touched James's gravestone, and on the drive home they may have not perished, but they've ended up in car accidents. There's a long list of things that have happened around that grave. And look, a lot of people will say that it probably wasn't the smartest thing for us to go out there and then my co-host touch it.
Yep, I was feeling a bit like, please be okay on your drive home.
But I think we went about it in a respectful way, and we let James know that we're not here to disrespect, but it was something on the list. It was something that we had to do, and fingers crossed that it doesn't come back and bite us in the ass. But I've got a feeling down the line that it's probably not the last time that gravestone's going to be ending up in some of our videos. I feel like that will be returning to bite us a little bit.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I think if you've gone in there with respect and you've made it known to him that you're not doing it out of disrespect, and that you want to know his story and moving on through that, I think, I think that if it was going to happen, if something was going to happen, it would have happened by now.
I think
if
so.
It was.
I think so. And look, I understand there's a few people out there that would say, well, it's disrespectful to go and touch the grave. But James was a miner of the town of Walhalla. He was a blue collar worker. So I sit back as a tradie myself, as a bit of a blue collar worker. I can see a little bit of, I think maybe the fun, jovial side of how these miners used to operate. And I think the fact might still be out there, even that James Mitchell, the miner that did perish, that's him getting his kicks. That's him going, I'm going to mess with everyone that comes up here. Then don't go leaning over this. You might cop it as well. But you never know, though. I mean, there's some stories that are horrific that come from it, and there's other people that will say, well, nothing happened to us. But it's one of those things that we've put on the list, and we've tackled it. So I think Emily will be all right.
Yeah, definitely. And I think from what I recall with that was that there was a lot of respect in that. So I was sort of in that sense of like being like, I feel like there'd probably be a lot of people that, as we were sort of saying before, there's a lot of people that go out and Yahoo and just maybe it's that it potentially is sort of targeting more of those people that kind of go, oh, what's the worst that could happen, and be really skeptical in Yahoo. And maybe it's them that get it, rather than the people that kind of go, we understand that it's disrespectful and we don't mean the disrespect, and you're actually approaching it and making yourselves known to whoever it is that's around in the area, whether it's James or whether it's someone else. Like you're just putting the right level of intent in there, and I think that's being understood.
No, thank you so much. It means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot. It really does. And that's the point of it. Look, our intent as well is to bring light onto towns and communities like this in Australia that really rely on tourism. And the more people that can get out to these towns, it really helps them. It thrives for them. Walhalla is a town of about 25 people.
Wow.
So yeah, so the
Yeah.
pubs and the general stores and everything like that, they rely on tourism. So I think the spirits out there, they do understand that what we're doing and what we're filming, we are trying to bring more people to the town that you lived in, to the town that you love and still watch over, and we just want the residents there to be able to show their little slice of heaven, their little home that yeah, and hopefully we can share those stories with other people that see the content and resonate with it and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I definitely hope to hear back in another sort of 6 months or so to see how the town has been doing since that visit. And obviously, you said there's some more in the pipeline, so I'm excited to watch that. But I guess to sort of strip it right back, I guess what really kind of inspired you to really get into the content creation, especially around things like the scary, creepy stories. Obviously the paranormal is an interest of yours, and even the true crime, like the forgotten true crime or the unsolved stories. Like, is there anything that really inspired you from the get-go, or did you feel that it's something that's kind of developed as you've gone along through having an interest in those areas?
That's a really awesome question. That's a really good question. For me, I think since I was about 10 years old, about 20 years ago, YouTube has always been, it's always been this place that I've resonated with. I absolutely love film. I'm a massive movie buff, a massive horror movie fan.
Love
Through
it.
and through. So I always would just sit back and watch hours and hours and hours of YouTube. And that was my escape. That was 100% my escape, just watching what these creators could do and the stories and adventures they went on. And from 10 years old up until I'm 29 now, going on 30. But I started 2 years ago. So I started when I was 27. I was always too scared to jump behind the camera. I was terrified. I was so concerned about what people would think. I was so scared of getting ridiculed, laughed at by people you know, people you work with, even friends seeing it going, what are you trying to do here, mate? You look like a dickhead, essentially. But it was always something that I wanted to do, and without going too into detail, but two and a half years ago, me and my fiance, we lost a child at about 25 months. It was a shocking situation, really, really rough situation. And after getting through all of that, I just said to myself, life can change like that. And that was something that triggered me to just go, start filming, start doing things you enjoy more, because you don't know how many days you've got left. So I just went, you know what, stuff it. Like, we're 27. We've always wanted to do this. I studied media through year 12 and I absolutely loved it, but then took a different route into plumbing and as a trade, which I really enjoyed. But I just said, as a hobby, let's try filming some stuff. And I jumped on TikTok and I started filming about camping and 4-wheel driving. I'm huge into the outdoors, massive camper, as the name Oz Camper actually comes from, a massive 4-wheel driver. But probably about a year and a half into that journey, I started letting the other passion of mine start to bleed through, which is I'm a massive horror nerd. I'm a massive, massive paranormal nerd, ghost hunting, the paranormal, strange mysteries and true crime. I love all of that. And it's been with me my entire life. Like I was that 6-year-old kid that was watching horror movies way too early than I should have been. But you grow up with older siblings and you're like, okay, that's fine. Like I think when I was 7, I saw From Dusk Till Dawn, and like I probably wouldn't recommend that one, but I don't know how that happened. Like, I'll be honest,
it was just an accident. It's fine. Yeah. I just walked in and never left.
I walked in. I'm just like, I've never seen more tits in my life. Okay, I thought this was a vampire movie. But I'm like, okay. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And then I'm like, oh, what else have we got? And I started watching Chucky and Child's Play. And then the Scream movies came out. And I was just that young kid that fucking loved horror. And then in my content, it just started to bleed out. And I started telling these campfire stories that I would tell when we go camping. When we go camping, I would always be the person in the middle of the night who's like, have you heard the story about what happened out here? And everyone's drunk with their beers in their hand going, oh no, don't, dude. Like, don't put that vibe out there. And I'm like, I'll tell you something. And I made a TikTok. So I made my first TikTok sort of talking about some strange Australian folklore and legends, and it did really well. And I was like, oh, people enjoyed my story. That's so cool. And then I did another, and that did really well. And I'm like, oh my God, I can start telling these stories that I know way too much about because I've nerded out on this for the past 20 years. Like, awesome.
Yeah,
And then
awesome.
it sort of just meshed into that. And I'm like, okay, I sort of realized about maybe November last year, I was having more fun diving into the scary content and the true stories content and the campfire stories and that now the ghost hunting. I was having more fun with that. And I found that, I've still got camping and 4-wheel driving as my passion, but it wasn't my passion to film that, if that makes sense. I just, creating that content, I wasn't getting that spark from it. But every time I knew that it was time to film a true story or a scary story that users were sending me in, because I was getting hundreds and hundreds of DMs of people going, I've got a Yowie story, mate. Hey, I lived in a haunted house, tell this. And still to this day, so many people send me in DMs that I constantly will chuck up on TikTok and Instagram because I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I want to hear your stories. I had so much more fun telling those stories. And that's when I made the full shift now to this little scary niche, this hub of scary stories, I suppose, that you can find over on my socials, and it's been awesome. It's I've found a really amazing community out there, and I've been meeting a lot of really cool people, so I'm having an absolute ball with it, and that's sort of how I started the channel.
Yeah, nice. Really good kind of story to really highlight just all those parts of you where you're kind of like, this is where I started and this is where I really feel like it's working for me. And that's such an amazing journey. And obviously I haven't lost a child after birth. Unfortunately, I've lost a couple sort of through pregnancy. So I can absolutely empathize with you there. Like that grief is horrendous, and I can completely empathize where it is where you just like life can change like that, and you really just have to go pull your socks up and just do it. Like, don't be afraid of things and just go for it. And it's really shown, like, sometimes you've just got to go, I don't give a fuck, and go for it and have a go. And it shows in everything that you do. Like,
thank you so
your
much.
Campfire, you're welcome. Your campfire stories, I've always enjoyed coming across a few of them. One of the very first ones I think I ever saw was actually around the Black Dog Trucker story, and I was kind of like, holy shit, this is awesome. And sort of as the months kind of went on, and then I sort of started seeing more and more, and they would get like even like creepier and scarier, where you'd sort of have guys that'd be out like hunting at night, and they've got the dogs with them, and then the dogs disappear, and somehow something happens and they come back, and it's just like, fucking gun it, we've got to get out of here, there's some weird thing in the forest there, and things like that. Like all of those sorts of things, you kind of like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then you get to see the other side of it, where there's the paranormal or even the true crime inspired storytelling. And you do it in such an immersive way that is just like, holy shit, I want to know more. Tell me more. And yeah, I guess that's probably a nice feeling for you, because you've sat there with the campfire with your mates who are all like pissed and just like, bro, not another one, please. I can't do it. And that you've got hundreds of people going, tell my story. I want to keep hearing it. Tell me more. Tell me more. Like, it must be such an awesome feeling to have that too.
No, it is an incredible feeling. It really is. And thank you so much for saying that. Even, with social media, you need to be prepared for it. But the other day I got a comment and someone was just like, dude, your storytelling is shit. Like, just stop. And I'm like, I thought I was getting really good. Like, I'm constantly trying to improve. And he's like, nah, man, like, that is not it. So then to hear from yourself that you're like, nah, it's really immersive. I'm like, thank you. Like, I'm constantly trying to set the bar for myself and constantly trying to sort of push myself to new limits. And what is it that we can do? I want to be able to really just grab someone and bring them on this journey, even if it is for 2 minutes of your day, to pull, if you've had a shit day, sit back, catch one of the short videos, or dive into a long form one. And I just want to grab you and take you on this journey. And let's see, like, let's go down the rabbit hole. Let's see what we can find out. And I want people to then go away after consuming this content and go, oh, fuck, I need to research more. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
done with this. I saw his video, but I need to go deeper now. Like, what else is there?
Yeah. It's like planting the seed, isn't it? You've planted that seed and it's had a bit of water and now it's just like, yep, I'm ready to just grow and learn more. So it's interesting. Yeah. Like I think there's always going to be people that want to shit over everyone's parade, but I honestly think your storytelling, you just do it so, for me anyway, for the way I listen to things, I'm like, this is fucking sick. Like I love a good creepy story and yeah, I think you do it in a way that I really connect with. So I think you do an amazing job. So
Thank you
fuck
so
that guy.
much. Fuck yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, user 74892,
Yeah.
arsehole.
That's it. And if you're listening, move on.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. That means the world. That's so cool. I try to bring my own spin on it. I get a lot of people in the comments will say it's Aussie Mr. Ball, and it's we've got ourselves an Aussie Mr. Ball, and I do always say, I'm like, look, my storytelling is not even close to the structure and the way that Mr. Ball and could deliver his stories. Truth be told, I had actually never seen his content until I started going down this niche myself. But then I was like, shit, that's the mark. That's the that's the standard. That's what we need to sort of reach for now. But I like the idea of having my own lane as well and bringing in that little bit of that bit of bush chook, Aussie bush chook with it. Being a bit on the nose with some of the storytelling, and not afraid to dance on the line, we'll say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, even like as you were saying with having the background in camping and four-wheel driving and that sort of thing, I think a lot of the stories that I've come across too that you're telling are from people that are in that same kind of area. And I think that's what's really cool is that you've probably got people that have never told these stories in their life and they're reaching out to you because you're on that same plane as them. You get where they're coming from and they go, we can tell our story to Marcus because he gets it. He gets us. He gets that we're a no bullshit kind of a person and we never would tell anyone this story. So let's just send it in. We've got to get it out, but we can't, and I understand too. I've lived in a country town a lot as well. And for some places it's, we think in broader society where they're kind of like, oh, paranormal and ghost stories. I'm like, oh, you're being silly. What ridiculous nonsense. But in a small regional town, that's amplified, that perspective. So to have an outlet for people that come from those areas that kind of go, oh my God, there's somebody that gets us and that can tell this story and we don't have to be identified, but we've got it off our chest is, I think that's a really great thing to have. And I think that's what makes your platform so truly amazing because you can capture all walks of life. And that's, I love that.
Thank you so much. And look,
you're welcome.
You're bang on the money though. It's, you'll have this massive, broad, jacked truck driver covered from the feet to the neck in tattoos. This is the type of person we're at the pub. You're like, oh, fuck with him. And he's messaging going, dude, the scariest fucking thing happened and I can't explain it, but I'm never going to tell anyone it, but you can tell them. This happened while I was doing this drive across Australia, and you're like, holy shit. And what I love about it is a lot of the time, like, you'll get people that'll send in stories and I know that they're bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll know that you can sort of pick up on it when you've read through so many. But when people are sincere and you can see that they're really like, they're sending you a huge, huge paragraph, like they're really getting it out there and they're going, mate, like, I can't explain it. That's where I'm like, I have the obligation to tell your story, mate. Like, I will do this justice. And it's so cool because it's like, you're right. Like, so many people out there that, one, probably feel like they can't tell these stories, or two, they're probably a little bit like, I'm really into this stuff, but I don't want to say it out loud because it might be cringy.
People, yes. Yeah. 100%. 100%. I absolutely agree with that. There's multi layers in that, isn't there? Where it's that, and it's funny because you can tell when there's, that authenticity to a story. Usually one thing I notice is, I know this sounds weird, but, and when that sentence is started that way, you're like, sign me up, hit me with it, because 100%. It's that you know that people are like looking around like, okay, this is going to sound really weird, but, and they tell you and you're kind of like, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. You know, like you really get that. And I think they almost feel a bit in shock that someone's like, holy shit, tell me, I'm listening. And they're like probably not used to having someone who's open-minded to it or has that interest in it. So it's probably nice to have that on the other side as well, where they're like, oh my God, thank you for actually hearing me and for believing me.
Yeah, thanks for telling it. Thanks for getting it out there. And that's the thing, is just I want more people to enjoy this scene, enjoy this niche, and get into it. And I think telling these stories is a good way to connect people as well. I think it's a really cool thing because you can connect so many people through storytelling. It's such a good avenue, and that's why I try to cover so many different stories from so many different people, so many different cultures, because I'm like, well, there's something that we can all connect over. Some fucking scary stories, and every culture has got their own scary legends and folklore tales. And I mean, being in Australia, this rock we live on, we have got so much history and we have got so many stories, you know, and even if it's tapping into Dreamtime stories, they're fucking awesome. And it's so good to sink your teeth into. We're very lucky living in Australia, but I think that it needs to get a little bit more recognition, because at the moment, you know, over in the States, it really does dominate the storytelling and the paranormal investigation scene. And I want to really put Australia on the map for that, because we are so rich with history and culture here. And I think it needs to be told. It needs to be shared.
100%. I love that. With investigating Walhalla, and I'm guessing that you've got some other locations that we're going to be looking at in the future, what are some of the challenges that you've faced when researching and trying to get into the haunted places? Has there been any kind of challenges associated with that?
Again, that's a really good question, because I think a lot of people see the content and they don't actually understand the back end that goes into planning trips like this. So any channels out there, any people that create content around paranormal investigations, I take my hat off to them, because I understand how much back end research goes into it. But not just that, getting to location and then making it possible to actually film in some of these places is very difficult. It's very difficult. So with Walhalla, truth be told, I sent out an email and I had a chat with Sally, who does the ghost tours, the historian out there. And I think maybe the town folk had seen my content before, and I'm very big, you know, on bringing more eyes onto these rural towns in Australia, and I think they could see the passion. So for Walhalla, that wasn't really difficult. They welcomed me with open arms. They literally just went, Marcus, come on through. I met all the town folk, met all the locals. It was incredible. That is the most welcoming town I've ever stepped foot in, and it is like going back in time. I could have stayed there for months. Like I'm planning to go back to Walhalla because I absolutely love it. It was my first time out there, and I'm like, this is incredible. This is straight out of a movie. But even you know, over dinner, we go out to the pub, and the film crew have all their cameras and everything, and all the locals are coming over. What are you filming? What are you doing, guys? Show us. Like, they were incredible. They wanted to have you around, and they wanted to tell you about, you know, the history of the town. And even one of the locals said, like, my brother, he plays the bagpipes every Sunday up on this mountain, and we got some incredible shots of that. It was so cool. But definitely, I've found that with other locations, the hard part is getting in. And I think the best advice I can give people is show respect to the industry, cement your place in the industry, and let people know that you're serious about this, and you'll actually start to find people that can really guide you in the right direction and help you. It's all about meeting people and putting yourself out there. And you know, if you are doing justice to the content and you're not going in taking the complete piss, you'll probably find that you know, people that are passionate about the paranormal, like yourself, like me, like Sally from Walhalla, they'll be willing to help you, and you can find ways in. So this weekend I've got 2 locations that I'll be staying overnight at with the film crew. So we're doing 2 days of back-to-back filming, and I'm super stoked.
Awesome.
I'm super stoked. Old abandoned hospital, haunted as hell, creepy as hell, and yeah, I've got the keys for the night. And but it's just about, you know, reaching out to people, and yeah, if you put the effort into your content, or you know, you really do show that this is the passion of yours, people will be willing to help you. Obviously, look, with every niche, every industry, you've got gatekeepers. And even when I was doing camping and 4-wheel driving content, you've got people that gatekeep it. When I was, you know, I did a series about me riding a bull for the first time because my clothing company, we were sponsoring some Australian cowboys, 20 Aussie cowboys. They were going up to Las Vegas to compete. So we were sponsoring.
Oh, sick.
My brand sponsored, the Legends Rough Stock series in Vegas. It was my brand, Mack Trucks and Trademark. But obviously I didn't want to just put the money down and let these cowboys take all the hits. So I said, I need to ride a bull. I need to see what it's like. I need to see what these cowboys actually do. I fractured my spine on my first bull ride.
Fuck.
came off the bull in front of 4,000 people. First time I've ever rode an animal in a rodeo. I flew up to Brisbane, jumped on a bull, rode that for about half a second, got stomped on, fractured my spine.
Oh.
And then 4 months later, I'm like, wow, we got to get bull riding another crack. Jumped on another bull, came off, fractured my spine. So at the moment, my spine's sort of banged up a little bit, but
maybe
know,
just a tad.
A little. It's just a little bit like but you know, even with that niche, there's a lot of cowboys, a lot of, you know, people that have been doing this their whole life, world champions that are embracing you with open arms. You know, the person that's teaching me to ride bulls, his name's Lance. He was a world champion bull rider, and he's a stunt man. He did all the stunts actually for Wolf Creek too.
Oh,
and
wow.
And Ned Kelly and Lance has done a lot of work. So, you know, someone like that who is cowboy through and through has embraced me with open arms. You know, but then you'll have other people in the scene that are like, who the fuck's this? Like, you know, get out. And that's the same with the paranormal. And it's the same with ghost hunting and everything like that. There will be people that don't want to disclose locations and, you know, sort of try to set you on the right course. But if you find the right people, keep them close, because there's a lot of incredible people out there that are willing to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. And great advice. That was actually going to be part of the next question, but you kind of already answered it. So beauty. But yeah, Jesus, fractured spine. That would have hurt.
We drove 5 hours. I drove 5 hours up to Mount Gambier. The first bull I got on, I came off and I knew right away. I hit the deck and I knew my spine fractured again. My leg went numb and I went, fuck, like I've done it again. So I'm hobbling off, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, we drove 5 hours. So I got on the second bull, but with my spine fraction, I was like, oh no. And I held on for about a second, got launched off, and I'm like, Lance, I can't walk, mate. So we hobbled. We just hobbled. We watched the actual bull riders, the pros. Bucked the bulls for a while, and I'm like, shit, they're good. And then we drove 5 hours, and I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah, that would have fucking hurt. And then you'd be sitting there thinking, how many times have they fractured their spine to get to where they are?
Yeah, it's such a crazy sport. But yeah, so we just sat back. We watched the pros do it for a bit, and I'm like, oh, they're good.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of pain, but fuck, they're good.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa.
Anyway, got any pain meds? This will help me.
Yeah. No, they just look at you. They're like, just walk it off.
Yeah. Put a Band-Aid on it, mate.
Yeah, that's all you
off.
get. They're like, come on, man, walk it off. And you're like, it's fucking fractured. They're like, walk it off, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's right. Different
People out, like, it's a different
definitely.
breed.
Yes, absolutely different breed. They're just bred tougher in
tough.
some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just kind of look at it and go, okay, cool. You just there's no words. They're just incredible, honestly. And you just kind of go, man, I just wish I could be like you. But at the same time, I kind of there's just no way I'll get there, you know.
I know. Like we see ourselves as you know, growing up in rural Australia, we see ourselves as, you know, a bit country, and all we had was fishing and camping and everything. But then you go out there and you're like, fuck, that's different. These cowboys are built different.
Yeah, Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, there's like you've got country and then you've got like hardcore.
Tough as
It's
nails,
like hardcore. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's definitely, but it makes it is really interesting, and like I like the fact that you've got that ability to kind of say there's, I think, in every area, every niche that there is out there, there's always going to be people that will be so just like, yeah, come on in, let's give you a hand, let's find this, let's find that, what do
Yeah,
you need?
definitely.
And then there's always going to be some that are just like, nope, stay away, you know.
100%, 100%, and it's in every
Yeah,
niche. So I would say to anyone that wants to embark on these journeys, just do it. Just do it. You can't let the haters stop you from doing what you want to do. And think of it like this. Like, yes, I've got a camping background, a 4-wheel driving background, fishing and everything, but I'm a fucking horror nerd that tells scary stories on the internet and hunts ghosts, and I'm in the back of a rodeo. So people are looking like, isn't that the dickhead that tells the scary stories? What's he doing putting chaps on? So it can be uncomfortable, but you just gotta put yourself out there. And if it is something that you want to do, you'll find a way to make it happen, I suppose.
yeah, 100%, absolutely, and that's really great advice. So for anybody listening or watching that is unsure on whether they want to do that thing, whatever that might be, the advice from Marcus and myself today is just fucking do it.
Just do it.
You got nothing to
put
lose.
Your best foot forward.
100%. Get out there and have a crack. Because you could be like Marcus and go out there and have a crack on the bull and break your spine twice.
Hopefully
but
you're not like me and you're really good. Like, hopefully you're really good at riding the bull and you get it.
Yeah.
Not
well,
my sport.
Too. Yeah. I like to spectate that one.
Yeah. I'll leave that one to the pros.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I'm more than happy to watch it. Just don't ask me to get on. No way. I've been thrown off horses too many times. No thanks.
Exactly.
And one thing I've noticed is that sometimes the older you get, the harder it is to recover. So I'm also kind of now quitting while I'm ahead.
Yeah. No, that's it. Let's just stick to the ghosts.
Yeah, that's it. That exactly. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Oh dear. So I guess, we're sort of going to probably pop back to Walhalla, but, for any other maybe investigations that you've done that you may not have documented so much, is there a moment through any investigation or at Walhalla that's really kind of stuck with you and is something that may actually cross your mind multiple times in a week, a day, a month? Is there anything that's really...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Go for it.
I've got the story right away. This is probably the most evidence that I've ever experienced in my life that I cannot explain. I refer to myself as probably the most skeptical believer in the fact that I am a believer, and I wholeheartedly do 100% believe that the spirit world exists, and I believe in UFOs because I believe the universe, the galaxy, there is more to life than what we are just seeing with our eyes. And I think you are crazy if you do not open yourself up and think that, because I'm telling you, life is a lot more than what we see on this rock, right? But
100%.
I've had one experience in my life. I've had multiple experiences, but I've had one experience in my life that stands out more than anything. So it was 2019, and it was the first date that me and my now fiance ever went on. So being the person I am, I said, well, how about we do this ghost tour at Pentridge Prison? Like, that'd be awesome. Do you want to do that? And luckily for me, she was pretty into it as well. So Nikki didn't just go fucking nerd. She's like, yeah, okay, like, let's go out for dinner. And we'll go to Pentridge. So we went out there with my brother, my sister-in-law, and then Nikki and I went out there. So first date, I was trying to big ball myself a little bit, trying to act tough, impress, just being a dickhead. So I was a little bit more taunting than I would recommend someone if you are out in these locations, and people say it's haunted. Sometimes it's haunted for a reason. Sometimes when people say that, it's for a fucking reason. So we're in Pentridge, and Yeah, I was being a menace. I was taunting all of the prisoners in all of the cells, and we were taking lots of photos, and it was a really good investigation. Sadly, I think they've actually changed Pentridge now into a bit of a different attraction. I'm not too sure as tours go out there, but it was it was when we approached Chopper Reed's prison cell. So his prison cell used to be on the lower level of the prison. It was right at the back. It's like the last house on the left. It was Chopper's cell was the last prison cell on the left, and the tour guides for the night were sort of telling us that, when you enter Chopper's cell, you can sometimes smell cigarette smoke because he was a big smoker. And sometimes when the girls would walk through his prison cell, they'd feel this like pinch on the bum, and they'd say that was Chopper messing around. But for whatever reason, as we're approaching that prison cell, we walked through the chain fence because there was only 2 prison cells past this fence line. One was Chopper's, and I'm not sure who the second person's was. But as we were approaching, I yelled out, I'm like, "Come on, Chopper, where are you?" And I was just taunting him out a little bit. And we walked into Chopper's prison cell, and as we're in there, I looked at Nikki, my fiance, and I said, let's get a photo together in Chopper's cell. Now, Nikki's from the UK, so she didn't know who the fuck Chopper Reed was. She's like, "Oh, whatever." Like, cool.
Yeah, who's this Chopper guy? What the fuck
I'm pretty
are
sure
you
that's
on?
a motorbike,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah.
And we're in Chopper's cell, so I pull out my phone and I try to take a photo, and the flash wouldn't go off in his cell. Now, throughout the entire ghost tour, the flash was working perfect. But yeah, for whatever reason on Snapchat, the flash wasn't working on Snapchat. So I closed the Snapchat app, and then I just opened up the camera app on my phone, and I turned the flash on. And again, I took a photo, and the flash didn't go off on that the camera app itself. And I went, "Oh, okay, this is really weird." And I tried that about 3 times, trying to get the flash to work. And it wouldn't work in Chopper's cell, but throughout that entire night, and I've got so many photos from the prison that night, having had the flash go off, because I'm in dark cells that are lit up because the flash is working, but for whatever reason, inside Chopper Reed's cell, it wasn't working. And so now I'm starting to think that's fucking weird. And it was in the last 15 minutes of the ghost tour where you're free to walk around the prison. They let you just go to town in it. So we're the only ones in the back of this cell, and I'm like, okay, it's weird. So we left Chopper's cell, and as soon as I passed through the door that led into Chopper's cell, the flash shot off on my phone, and I went, "What the fuck is that?" Okay. Yeah, and it flashed off staring at the chain link fence, and I'm like, okay, that's fucking weird. So we made our way away from the cell. Just, you know what? I'm still trying to act a little bit nonchalant, not spooked here, and we just continued on messing around, looking at other prison cells and everything like that. But I was sort of, as I was leaving, I'm like, that's really weird. There's nothing that can stop the flash from going off on your phone. It's not like the staff have an app that's interfering. I'm like, that's fucking weird. Anyway, we finished up the investigation. I never told the prison this. I was just like, whatever, like, just leave it. I didn't think too much on it. So then we left. And that night at around 2 a.m., I woke up, and as I've woken up, I've looked, and my fiance is sitting up in bed. So her eyes, she's not laying down with her eyes open. She's sitting up, staring just into the darkness of the room. And right away, as I've sat up, I knew why she was sitting up. Without her saying anything, I knew there was someone in the fucking room with us. I cannot explain the feeling that we had, but I knew that there was someone in this room. And I looked at Nikki, and just to clarify it with her, and I went, "What's wrong? Are you all right?" She goes, "Someone's in the fucking room right now." And mind you, this is our first date, so we're not both going like, "Yo, like, by the way,
you're playing a joke or whatever."
I can pick up ghosts, by the way. It's like, no, we're not clairvoyant or anything like that. But it's a weird thing to say on a first date. Like, there's someone in the room. You'd be like, "You crazy?" Like, what? No, like, we both felt this presence was in the room with us, and we were both sort of sitting there, and I was scared to turn the light on my phone because we knew there was a presence in the room, and right away my fucking mind went, "That's Chopper Reed." Like, I had this feeling, and I cannot put my finger on it. And as we're sitting there in silence, all of a sudden the bedside table next to me just went bang like that, and it was just someone had just cracked their hand on it. There was no picture frames on the bedside table. Nothing fell off the bedside table. We're inside the master bedroom. There is no draft, no windows open or anything like that. It just went fucking crack. And we're both frozen at this point. And I literally out loud said, Chopper, I am sorry. I am your bitch. You like, because it just all clicked. And I'm like, no, the tour guide said he'll fuck with you. Like, so
Yeah.
I was trying to embarrass this guy to show off in front of my fiance. And he's gone, nah, motherfucker. Like, no. This is my game. And
it.
he came back with us that night. And it fucking slammed that bedside table. And I was just like, Chopper, I'm your bitch. I'm sorry. Like, fuck me. You're scared. Like, you're scaring us now. And honestly, after I admitted my profounding pussiness to Chopper Reed, it's like it left. And I turned the light on my phone, and the flashlight was working in the room, and we scanned around, and it was nothing. But to this day, I can't explain it. I cannot explain that, from the flashlight not going off to the feeling that we both had, to waking up to Nikki sitting up in the bed at 2 a.m., to me waking up at the same time, to that presence, that unnerving feeling, to the fucking bang on the bedside table. And mind you, the bed, it was right next to me. So I would have known if something, like, it just fucking went crack.
You would feel if somebody was walking past there. Like,
it just went,
yeah.
It just went crack, and that was when I went, holy shit. That confirmed to me, there is more out there.
Absolutely. And to be completely, like, you know, as you're telling that story, there was something that you said that is, like, just as a slight disclosure, some of my listeners know this if they've listened from the start, but I am very well in tune with the spiritual world. So I can connect and I can channel things. And I've never been to Pentridge before, but I love Chopper Reed. So, of course, you know, everybody, if you know who he is, you just get it, right? And there was something, and I have to say, even when Eric Bana portrayed him in the movie Chopper, brilliant job. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Eric Bana, good on you. You're a legend. But it was really interesting because there was something I'd channeled, and this was years ago before I actually realized that it was channeling. I just thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
It's probably a combination of a little from column A, a little from column B, but you know.
It's a good blend, I think.
It's a good blend. That's what keeps shit interesting. Yeah,
definitely.
I'm cool with that. And it was interesting because I thought I'd really love to go to Pentridge to, you know, be able to sort of connect with Chopper. And I don't know, I had this moment where it was like I somehow was like channeling and kind of went, he's the sort of guy, I didn't know specifically where his cell was, but I kind of knew that he would be the sort of guy that would fuck with people for a laugh, because that was he could be, you know, like you look at in the movie where he was talking to Neville Bartos and he was kind of like, you know, hounding him for money, but then he'd be like, oh shit, Nev, you know, I'm sorry, whatever. So there's that part of him that's a real prankster, but there's also that part that's connected to that prank where he's like, give me my fucking money, right?
Yes.
There was this part of me that went, he is the sort of guy that if a female was to enter that cell, he would pinch them on the bum and have that funny little giggle that he had. Now, I've never told anybody that story before, right? That I've had this come through. And as you were telling your story and you said that the tour guides had said that that is generally what he does, for a moment there, I was like, holy fucking shit, man, maybe I can do this. And I had no idea at the time. But that, you know, I've never been to Pentridge. I've never been on the tours. I've never heard anything about the ghost tours in depth like that before. So to have you confirm that through an experience you had quite a time ago, and what I'd experienced would have been pre-COVID.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. And, you know, I in one of my most recent episodes, I kind of touched on an experience that I'd had with a friend of mine, and I'd had these like downloads or channels that I was able to do remotely from this particular location.
Yep.
And my thoughts were, if I was to ever be able to channel things, I'm channeling whatever's like in that space, like I'm on this land and I'm going to experience whatever. And it sort of suddenly dawned on me after, you know, having this experience, and I've recently shared it on my socials as well, that maybe all of this time where I've thought I'm imagining something, I whatever has been the ability to channel into something remotely and not have to be anywhere near that particular location. It's just
100%.
if you've been able to switch on and go, I really want to connect who's willing to come through. And sometimes it can be the randomest thing, and you could be talking to someone the next day and be like, fuck,
Yeah.
that's where it's from.
Yeah.
Or it's weird how you end up having that connection with somebody as a person that you may not have even had any idea about any of it, like literally just now, where you'll be like, oh my God.
You
And
have
it's like that
clicking
penny
moment, that
drops.
light bulb moment, and you go, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really interesting that you said that. So you've sort of clarified something for me. So here I am having another learning experience about my own personal
No,
nut job sort of
absolutely.
things.
Yeah, no, and feel it. Like, because
Yeah.
what you said is bang on the money. They will tell you, like, Chopper will fuck with you. I will firsthand tell anyone that asks me that's for that story. I will tell them he was fucking with me. Like, I tried to big ball myself, and he went, no, you know, and he shut that shit down. Yeah, he shut that down. And he's like, now I'm coming home with you tonight, mate. Like,
yeah. And it's not just to come home to scare you for the sake of scaring you. It's kind of that I'm trying to assert my dominance, but I also am a larrikin who will take the piss for my own entertainment.
100%, 100%, because he didn't hang around after that. It's not like he's still tormenting me. I can look back and laugh and go, and that's why I said, like, I'm your bitch, man. Like, yep, hands down, you're the best, I'm the worst. Like, you know,
you win.
You're good looking, I'm ugly. Fucking, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, nah, that's he left after that, and he would have been going, don't fuck with me, mate. But I think it was in a jovial, that Aussie banter way where he's like, but I'm going to embarrass you in front of this girl that you're trying to get your end away on, mate, and fuck with you.
Exactly.
And, it worked.
And it's, absolutely. And it's that is a really cool story. I can imagine at the time you would have been like, fuck me, this is like, whoa, too much. But to be able to look back on it and just be like, remember that time Chopper Reed followed us home, babe? Like,
it's a really good pub story.
Yes,
I was haunted by Chopper Reed. People just go, you fucking what? And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's my claim to fame.
Yeah, that's it. I know this sounds weird, but hear me out.
Yeah. So no, that was one of those moments that you couldn't explain it. So now I always go into every investigation with that mentality. But I suppose when you're trying to highlight that through film, it's very easy. It's very easy to trick the viewer, I suppose. So when I'm doing investigations, I really do try to debunk as I go. And whether that be letting the viewer see, you know, with our K2 meters, I'll test them near the cameras. These will not go off near the cameras. But if my phone gets a text, guess what? That K2 is going to ping off. So what do? We airplane mode our phones, and we'll leave them with one of our filmmakers, either Lily or Coco. Take the phones as we're doing these investigations. With a spirit box, for people that don't know a spirit box, it scans through all FM and AM radios. It's called a sweep, and it can move through these stations quite fast. And what it does is essentially gives spirits a conduit where they can put their energy into it and communicate to us through spirit boxes. And that's the point of it. Now, when I'm using mine, I've got a really cool one, but it can completely disengage the antenna. So when I'm filming, I will always disengage, so you have no bleed through from stations. Because you're doing a sweep, you might have, a half a second bleed through from, the Fox or something. So with this spirit box that I've got, it disengages the antenna. So all you're working with is static. And I'd love to be able to do the Estes method more on these videos, but I want to bring the viewer with me more.
That authenticity.
And it's because I 100% the Estes method works. It 100% works. You're lowering your other senses to give your hearing that sense primary power over all the others. But to portray that through camera, people can script it. So people can say, they're scripting this. So I try to avoid it as much as I'd like to do it. I will probably tackle it in further investigations, but it's just one of those things that, yeah, going through the this whole paranormal investigation series, I do want to make it as user friendly, I'll say, as possible.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And I think that's what's really important too, is because you're going to have people that either do investigations themselves or a seasoned paranormal enthusiasts, and then you're going to have those like my husband, who's I think he's got an interest to it, but I think he's still kind of like, oh, it still freaks me out, and he's kind of like, I just want something that is just like, you want some of those little factors, but you want the authenticity through it, where there's that invitation to not be fearful of it, because
100%.
I think that's for a lot of people that kind of go, oh my God, I can't talk about it, because it's fear of the unknown. So when you have, like with the Walhalla investigation, where you demonstrate, where you're going to have periods where there's fucking nothing and you just go with it.
It's like
and
fishing.
Then you're going to have periods. Yeah, 100%. And you know what? My husband said that today. He literally said that today. He's like, it's like fishing. You want the fish, but it's the journey and that whole experience, so that when you get that bite, that's where you kind of go, holy fucking shit, this is, I really caught a fish. I didn't do a Homer Simpson and put a fucking bug zapper in there, like.
No, that's it. The day that the spirit
that.
box goes off, like I've got it up there on the wall of glory. The day that spirit box goes off on camera, there's no denying it for me that is something bleeding through, because I've had that thing like the spirit box didn't go once in Walhalla. I didn't pick up a single. I think maybe there was the tiniest something that we picked up, but nothing that can really merit going that was someone connecting with us. The day that spirit box goes off with the antenna disengaged, you'll see on camera my face will fucking drop.
Yeah, that's it. We'll just see you faint.
Yeah, I'll be like, well, okay, there is something here. And look, these next investigations that are coming up, I've amplified the locations a little bit. We're going in a bit to some darker territory. I've got another one lined up for the Saturday. I'll leave that one.
Nice.
I'll leave that one as a bit of a surprise. It's a really cool location.
Yes.
It's really cool, and it falls into the the mystery of some Australian cults and everything like that. It's a really cool opportunity. Ooh. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
We're getting a slight teaser here, guys, between really true crime fanatics and the creepy eeriness and that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm stoked. Yeah, no, it'll be amazing. Yes. It'll be amazing.
I love it. Awesome. I guess in some ways this could kind of maybe piggyback the Chopper Read incident, but if you could go back and give yourself advice as a younger self before your first encounter, what would you tell yourself?
3 things. 1, not just in paranormal, but if I could go back, I would say start the journey earlier. Start this filmmaking journey earlier. Start putting yourself out there more. I was always the really shy kid in school that would always try to fit in and never really let out this passionate side of me that you see today. This has taken a lot of putting myself out there to be comfortable. So just fucking go for it. Understand, Marcus, that there is another world out there, and just because you can't see things doesn't mean it's not true. And don't fucking annoy Chopper Read, because he's petty like that and he'll come back.
Exactly. Yep, 100%. I love that. Great advice. My personal favourite is definitely the end.
Don't piss off Chopper.
Don't piss off Chopper. Anyone listening, if you ever go out to Pentridge on the new type of tourist attraction that they have there now, don't go and piss off Chopper Read. That's a no-go zone. Yep. We don't want that.
He owns that prison, everyone. So
he does. Yeah, and it really wouldn't surprise me if he was also trying to engage in the new attraction as well. I think 100%. That he would probably find that quite entertaining. So yeah, if you do go there for the new attraction, just be respectful. Otherwise, 100%. You'll end up with an incident like Marcus.
Yeah, and you don't want that. You don't want that.
Nah.
And you never know. Sometimes it might not be, someone as jovial as Chopper. You might bring something back. I've got a ground rule, which you won't see in my videos, but my co-host wants me to break that rule, but
We interrupt this broadcast. Your signal has been compromised. Transmission lost.
After Marcus and I shared our separate encounters with the same spirit, something shifted. The air grew still, and then our devices began to fail. On separate occasions, our batteries drained at an unnatural pace. Equipment that had never faltered in any other recordings suddenly gave out. Neither of us had actually seen anything like it before. But perhaps it wasn't resistance. Perhaps the spirit was listening and simply having a bit of cheeky fun. We didn't end the interview. It ended itself. Join us in part 2 because Marcus returns and we reflect on strange aftermath of our faltered first recording, share our thoughts on paranormal tools, and dive deeper into the mysteries that continue to unfold. We'll also explore what's next for Marcus and the stories that he's chasing, some of which may be chasing him back. But until then, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, some stories don't mind being told. They just like to play with the telling.